What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to give you my top 3 natural supplements that will help you put on muscle, and then I'm going to give you my top 3 garbage supplements that you will only waste your money on. Right before I get into the video, guys, make sure to keep smashing that like button below. Alright, it helps me with YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff, and let's just dive straight into this. So number 1 supplement that will help you put on muscle is creatine. Creatine is the only natural supplement that will help you put on muscle and get stronger. So this is a supplement that we actually have done a lot of studies on, and the studies would suggest that this supplement, creatine itself, is actually very safe and that it works. So what is creatine? So creatine is actually a natural substance that's found in real food. It's found in red meat. The only problem is that for us to consume a significant amount of creatine that will help us put on muscle and get stronger in the gym, we would have to eat way too much meat. This is why we need to supplement with creatine. Alright, so what creatine does, it binds to your ATP, okay, and it basically saturates your muscles with water. Okay, so this gives you extra energy, this gives you that extra push. This can result in an extra, say, rep or 2 or 3 reps. Okay, some people are not great responders from the information that we have gathered so far to creatine, and they don't respond as well. Basically, they don't really get much out of it, and some people actually respond decent and definitely get extra reps out of it, definitely get become stronger. And that's my experience with creatine. I definitely have always gained a couple of extra reps, and I can always notice my muscles filling up a little bit. Now, will you put on 20 pounds of muscle or anything crazy noticeable while using creatine? Absolutely not. It's just not that type of supplement. It's not gonna give you extra 20 pounds a year or anything crazy like that, but it will give you an extra rep or 2 when training, which can and should result in some extra gains. So what type of creatine should you buy? Just go with creatine monohydrate, okay? The original, the cheap version. So the good news with this supplement is that it's really cheap and affordable. Alright, so you're not going to be throwing big money in this whatsoever. It's really cheap. Creatine monohydrate, go with that. It's just white powder, and I would say definitely do not load. On most creatine that you buy, on all of them, you'll see at the back of the packet, it'll tell you to load creatine for the first week. I think that involves something like maybe 20, 30, 40 grams of creatine per day. I'm not sure now exactly, I forgot this, but it takes taking a lot of creatine in that week to load yourself with creatine. That is absolutely not necessary. Alright, just for most people, just go with 5 grams of creatine per day. That's a teaspoon of creatine, and I would say probably the best time to take it would be after training, on training days, and then if you're not training, maybe in the morning. It's not that important, but when you're training, I'd say post training, and take it with something like maybe a diluted Ribena drink, for example. That will help and shove the creatine into your bloodstream much quicker. So the second supplement that will help you put on muscle is protein. Okay, so this can be protein powder or protein bars. Anything like that will work just fine. Okay, so for anybody trying to get stronger, trying to put on muscle, I recommend around 1 gram per pound of body weight for your daily protein intake. So look, in order to hit that daily, it can be a bit of effort. So there's absolutely no problem in supplementing with protein, okay, to a slight degree. I wouldn't recommend anything higher than, say, maybe 25% of your daily protein intake to come from this supplement. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As I said, you need protein to repair your muscles. Okay, so the protein helps you repair the muscles, repair the damage when you're training. So there's nothing wrong with supplementing with a protein supplement. So what type of protein do I recommend? I would recommend the whey protein. From what I'm hearing, the isolate protein seems to cost a good bit more. Okay, and also doesn't taste as good. And yeah, the only difference with them two is that the isolate has kind of no carbs, and the whey protein might have maybe 10-15 grams of carbohydrates, which is really no big deal whatsoever. So I don't see why you should pay extra for the whey isolate whatsoever. I'd say just stick with the normal whey protein. Okay, so the third and last supplement that I recommend is a pre-workout. All right, unless you're working out late, then I don't recommend it whatsoever, because then it would definitely interfere with your sleep. Okay, so look, the pre-workout that I recommend is just coffee. That's all I have. All right, it's just something to get you going, to give you that kind of alertness during training, to give you that focus. Okay, because that's really important when you're training. When you're training, you need to be sharp, you need to be aggressive. All right, if you don't like your coffee, I'd say just go for caffeine pills. All right, so it doesn't have to be anything, it doesn't have to be a really strong supplement. All right, I don't recommend, to be honest, anything really strong. Just a straight coffee I think will be perfect for a pre-workout. That's it. So now we're on to our garbage supplements. So number one on the list is the weight gainer. Okay, so the weight gainer is designed for the so-called hard gainers. All right, guys that seem to struggle to put on muscle, which is pretty much everyone, to be honest. All right, so look, the weight gainer is supposed to help them gain weight and put on muscle. So what the weight gainer is, you're actually just buying carbs, carbohydrates, okay, which is a joke, because you can get that in from absolutely anything. Okay, I mean, you're spending serious money on carbs. That's all you're actually buying. Listen, you can get that in from, as I said, from absolutely anything. You know, you could have your donuts and get your carbs in from that. You could think about it, a really full handful of nuts, a properly full handful of nuts would easily have 600 to 800 calories in it. It's so easy to get carbs in. Even if you have a crap appetite, there's something out there that you like. To throw your money on something like this is definitely something that I don't recommend. It's definitely a supplement, you know, that you don't need to be buying. It definitely is something that's just not worth the cash whatsoever. You're just buying carbs, so it's an absolute waste of cash. So the second supplement on the list is the test booster. Okay, so the test booster is supposed to naturally increase your testosterone. Okay, so look, it just might increase your testosterone by a tiny little bit, but it's gonna be so insignificant that there's no way in hell you're gonna put on any extra muscle from taking this supplement. I remember back in the day, I used to take these big, huge fucking pills, and I could barely swallow the freaking thing. Yeah, it was an absolute waste of my cash. It doesn't work, guys, whatsoever. This is a big waste, because these things actually cost money and they'll do absolutely nothing for you. So this one definitely has to be on the list. The natural test boosters, it just doesn't work. All right, the third and the last garbage supplement on the list is the BCAAs. The BCAAs, you gotta supplement BCAAs while you're training so that you don't end up being catabolic, so that your muscles don't start wasting as you're training in the gym. Come on, I mean, what kind of bullshit is this? The BCAAs are definitely a supplement that you don't need to take, okay? As I said, if you're getting enough protein throughout the day from your food, you could even use a bit of whey protein or even like a protein bar, anything like that, you don't need to be throwing in BCAAs on top of all this, guys. Absolutely not necessary. No extra benefits for you whatsoever. This is another supplement that is just wasting your cash. Okay, there's no benefit to the BCAAs whatsoever, so it has to be on the list. And that's the video, guys. I didn't get a video out to you last week. I was fairly busy with a couple of things. I was setting up my online coaching thing, which I'm so excited about. If that's something that you might be interested in, leave a comment below and me and you can chat about that. Also, guys, next week I'll be doing a Q&A. So if you want your question answered on video next week, leave a question in the comments right now and I'll make sure to answer your question on video next week. Guys, that's about it for today. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.